Hello everyone, this is Ronnie. We're going to talk about self-love in relationship to diet because a lot of people when they change diet, they feel that maybe one of the problems with changing diet that they struggle to do it is that they don't love themselves enough, and that when they do change diet, they might have a lot of different emotions come up as well, a detox, an emotional detox kind of experience, and that can also lead them to wonder about whether they really respect and love themselves enough. And this seems to be something that's come up over the years, and people at the Fruit Fest have been interested in it. Like this whole concept of how to love yourself more and how do we really develop that relationship with ourselves. Now, I've got to say that I don't like get up in the morning and go, I love you, I love you, I love. Like I don't think there's an exercise exactly for this that makes you love yourself or whatever. If I look at the camera right now because I can see my own face, I do love myself like more and more. I don't know if I always did or always felt that. I kind of feel like I always did though on some level, and maybe that's just lucky or maybe I developed that. I don't really know. But I think that but attached to all this is a lack of, like, people lack thinking positively about themselves, and people are filled with negative voices in their mind and ideas and negativity that holds you back. So when I was younger, I think I came across stuff like the film The Secret and all that personal development stuff surrounding that, and probably stuff before that as well, that talked about the law of attraction, that talked about positive thinking, and basically the idea that you can change your life by changing the way you think, and that you can visualize a different life, that you can use affirmations and all these different tools to start to kind of make your life change. Now, of course, all of that stuff, people still confuse all that because they think, oh, that's all that silly stuff where you sit down and you think you can just magically make money or success or the relationship of your dreams just magically appear in your life. And that's the misunderstanding of what that is. It's really about retraining your mind and retraining your brain, your mind, rechanging your own personal standards and your expectations of life. That and by doing that, gradually your actions change, and when your actions change, your outcomes change. But for many people, if you just try and change your actions today, if I tell you exactly what to do to change your diet, exactly what to do, you're going to go out and do it for a couple of days or like a little while, and you're not going to make that long-term change. But if I can put in you the mindset of how a healthy person thinks and feels and visualizes and imagines their day and imagines their life, and I can change your heart and mind first, the actions are going to come. And the actions are, and you're going to be more motivated to keep doing those actions and keep going with it. And that's what changes your life. But it actually comes, very often it comes firstly from changing your outcome within your own mind, your decision, changing the direction. And so what these people were teaching was the idea that it really comes down to you having control over things, but you must change your mindset, your outcome, what you picture in your mind is the first thing for you to change. It's all about understanding human psychology, the psychology of motivation, because it's not just about knowing how to do things. A lot of people know how to do a raw vegan diet. They're still not doing it. A lot of people know how to do a healthier vegan diet. They're still not doing it. And so it's not the actions and it's the implementation that's required, right? So one of the first things that I was taught in that was basically that anytime you have a negative thought about yourself, that you are potentially manifesting negative things in your life for yourself. Now, I don't know how much you believe in that kind of stuff or not, but for me, I decided consciously at some point that whenever I had a negative thought about myself, that I just wasn't gonna entertain it. That became a habit for me, that if any negative thought came up, I just stopped it off. I just didn't give it energy. You know what I mean? Because some of you have negative thoughts about yourself, and you like that energy. You like negativity. You like these emotions, unfortunately. You like crying about how bad you are or whatever, you know. And you have to get past that. Emotions are very enticing, whether it's negative emotions or positive emotions. Anger, some people love their anger. They love it. That's why the slightest thing makes them get angry and they just go right into it, you know. They love those emotions. Not particularly good for them, but they love that stuff. And some people love the positive side of things, of course, as well. And some people love sadness and they just want to cry all the time and whatever, and that's how they've always got attention or whatever it is. But we need to grow past all that, or past these simple things. But for me, I would have negative thoughts, definitely. And now I honestly sort of struggle to remember what that's like. And that, you might think that that's not possible, but that's basically where I'm at. So even if I did have the slightest idea of a negative thought, I just don't feed it any energy, any emotion, any attention. I'm just like, okay, that's interesting, whatever, you know. And when you stop feeding negative thinking and anything attention in your own mind, it starts to go away. And if you start to give energy to the things that are saying, the feelings that are positive and good about you, then that will start to grow as well. So I guess that's what self-love starts with, is not taking in. Now, when I'm talking about negative thinking, I'm not talking about like critical, honest thinking. Like, that wasn't good enough. You know, if you did you did something at your work or something in your relationship or whatever, and it was like that, you know what, the way I treated that person was not good enough, I could have done better. That's not negative thinking. There's a lot of people that want to avoid all that. They don't want any criticism, but that's wrong. What you don't want is emotion, is negative stuff that's just connected with the emotion of negativity. And so it's like everything is just always wrong. You never do anything right. Right? So just constantly feeding yourself negative ideas. You can't do anything. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough for that person. You can't go out with that person. You're not going to be friends with them. You know, getting beyond all that. You know, not feeding any of that kind of stuff, because that's just you know, random negativity, really. And it's really sad for me when I see people that, maybe I've seen it more with women. Obviously, as a guy, you get more closer to women sometimes, but in relationships and stuff. But I've known women that were like saying how ugly they were. You know, they were ugly. They aren't attractive. They're fat or whatever. You know, and all these kind of things. It's you know, I'm kind of like, can you stop doing that? It's just tiring. Like, can you stop being negative about yourself? This is not attracting good things for you into your life. And so for me, at a stage where I don't entertain that stuff, it's difficult for me to be around people that are still entertaining all that garbage. It's just mental garbage in your mind. It's not real. Like, if you could honestly say to yourself, look, I'm not as attractive as I used to be, I'm older, I'm balder, you know, or whatever, then that's fine. Like, that's kind of being honest. But if you're like just saying that you're ugly, unattractive, bad person and all that, just because that's the emotion that you kind of love, like you're entertaining that bad little energy. No, you need to clear that stuff out by not giving it any attention. So I think self-love is important. Now, why is it that I feel? But here's the way that I think it goes both ways, right? Because when you eat a really great diet, really healthy diet, your body feels good. Your mind, your brain, the chemicals, all the stuff starts to all fit into place. It's all good, positive. And you look in the mirror and you go, I love myself. This is awesome. I feel great. If you eat junk food, of course you're going to not love yourself so much. You want to get to the point where you could eat junk food and still love yourself, of course. But it's obvious why it triggers people to not love themselves, respect themselves and all that. But you have to get to the point where you understand with diet, we're not in control. You know, you're not You're not failing at your diet because you're a bad person or you can't control yourself. It's because we all struggle with it. It's a difficult thing, it's a challenge. And every day you have to continue to make a good decision. You have to continue to inspire yourself and motivate yourself. And even a lot of people that have been long-term, vegans and raw vegans and plant-based people and all that, a lot of these people still motivate themselves, still come to events, still read books, still want to be around people and go to retreats so they can be around people like them and continue to stay motivated. That's what we all actually continually need. And that's part of self-love as well, is do we respect and love ourselves enough to allow ourselves to have those experiences? This isn't a sales pitch for the Fruit Festival, it just popped into my mind that sounded like that. But it is a thing, like if I'm speaking to people that are interested in the event or communicating with people or whatever, I'm like, sometimes people don't value themselves enough to come to the event. And that's real honest, difficult, they'll come up with all sorts of reasons why it's not the right thing. Well, one moment they'll tell me this is exactly what they need, what they want, this is everything for them, and then they'll find a reason not to do it. And I do think for some people there is a lack of self-worth thing. They don't see them worthy of the time and the energy and the investment of going to an event like that. So the thing is, I can't change a person like that. I can't help them. They have to go on their own path of development like that. For me, the experience, the feeling that I get at fruit festival events and things, that feeling was so nourishing to me. The whole experience, the friendships, was so nourishing to me that I was like, this is value. This is total value. I'm not going to get this on any other type of holiday, any other type of trip. I'd like to think I could maybe, but I've not tried yet for a while. Basically all my free time, holiday time's been at fruit festivals, right, in the last 7 or 8 years. So I do think it's something to work on, but it comes hand in hand. The better you eat, the more you will like yourself, because you'll feel better, just because the chemicals are better, the physical side of it, the completely science-based side of it, not a mystical thing, not an emotional thing, but the actual fact that you nourish yourself, you feel better. You nourish yourself, you feel good. You don't eat enough food, you undereat, you'll feel bad about yourself. I don't know why it's as clear and obvious as that, but I guess that nature is basically saying, hey, I want to reward you for eating enough food. I want to reward you for nourishing yourself properly. Here's some really happy, positive chemicals. Excellent. Man, I always forget about the unbelievable experiences that I had in the first 6 months, a year, 2 years of going raw vegan. I almost never talk about it. I always forget about it because I don't really get those experiences anymore. But I used to go into such states of gratitude and unbelievable emotional states that it was just like, this is incredible, like this is right, this diet is right. I don't think you get that on a starch-based diet, I just don't think you do. But when you have a meal of fruit and all of a sudden everything's just like whoa, like your brain's just like your brain's just absolutely incredible, like focused, incredible, feels amazing. It just feels like positive chemicals are flowing, and then all of a sudden your heart's just like, oh man, the gratitude of and it comes, and just from eating raw food, like that is unbelievable. That really is the incredible experience of going raw, and that's why the people that have had that are like, hey, I can't deny that. I can't deny that. I can't go back to junk food after this. So self-love comes along with eating better. If you're at an event, you'll find people are in such a great mood and vibe at the fruit festivals. People have smiles on their face. People are happy. People love themselves more. And then the multiplication of all these different people in that same state, on that same journey together. That's why they're such beautiful events, But I don't want this to be like a whole thing about that. But for you, you need to get to a point in life. You absolutely need to get to a point in life where you look in your mirror and you like yourself, at the very least. And I don't know what's the right technique for you to do that exactly. But I think it starts with getting rid of all the negativity. It's not going to help you out whatsoever. Stop wallowing in your depression, your negativity, and all that stuff. And I say wallowing because people enjoy being in those states as much as others. People like the energy from negative thinking, negative mindsets. But it's not going to help you out. It's not going to make your life better. So you're much better off getting in a positive mindset where you feel that you are in control and empowered, that you have the ability to make changes in your life, that everything is achievable, that you're capable of doing what you want to do and having the life you want and being around the people you want. And the one thing I would say is that there's a lot of people who sell the idea of self-love who don't really get it yet, and who they go about preaching about how everyone should love themselves, and they don't get it yet. You know, they don't really have it yet, in my opinion. And sometimes people want to say life's amazing, everything's great, I'm fantastic, everyone's brilliant, and they want to say all that on the surface, but it's just hiding the fact that deep down they don't really have that, you know, that feeling. It needs to be a deep, honest, true thing that you wake up and you basically like who you are. You know what you're doing, you have some purpose in what you're doing. You like the contribution you're making to the world. You like the people that you choose to be around and all that kind of stuff. And I think I don't think there's anything wrong with continuing to work on yourself and having goals and all that stuff. I don't think it's self-love is about I'm just going to sit and do nothing and love myself. I think we're human beings living a human life, and you know, that comes down to a lot of stuff. You know, feeding ourselves properly, having some contribution we make to the world in terms of our work, employment and things like that, having good relationships around us, contributing to people and all that. So I hope that there's something in that video. I feel like I want to say more about this topic. Maybe you can put some questions down below and some things. And anyway, self-love is important, but I think it should be kind of natural. And I think if we were on a better diet, it would happen more naturally. You eat badly, you could trigger bad feelings about yourself and thoughts and stuff. So thank you very much for watching.